Hi everyone and welcome to another Should I Fly It? Today I wanted to cover something a little bit more laid back and fun that I like to fly rather than one of the current tournament medalists, and it's one of my favourite looking ships, Star Viper, and Guri thinks she's the best pilot in the ship at the moment. She, as much as I want to fly Caesar, she just comes out on top with her ability and everything. So I really enjoy flying her. The Star Viper can be a little bit frustrating, but I wanted to show you a list you can try and just give you a couple of pros and cons in the usual should I fly it kind of style. So we'll start off obviously with the Guri build that I like, and that is Predator, Virago with sensor jammers and then auto thrusters, and that gives you the action can be your repositioning. You've always got your Predator reroll on the offense, and then if you can get into range 1 with her, you're going to have the Guri ability passing you a focus. The main weakness with this build I've found is the lack of the evade action. I feel like the Star Viper suffers from it quite a lot. It's its main weakness for me. You can't get that reliable, always avoiding at least 1 damage. Even with this build, I've been 2-shotted by a decimator when I've been behind it. We get the crits, sensor jammer doesn't work, and then you blank out. You're only going to auto thruster 1. There's not much you can do. You don't have a Palpatine effect, so she does suffer in that aspect, but other than that, she is 40 points worth of death dealing joy to fly. The dial is pretty good once you get used to it. It's not perfect. The lack of a 3 hard and a K turn is telling. I think I've found myself wanting to K-turn rather than swoop quite a few times. The lack of 3 hard just makes you slightly more predictable. She's still a good, very offensive tool. I mean, I've ran her in this loadout and thrown advanced protons on her, and that does make her extremely killy. She's going to get 5 hits on something and just take it off the table. But I wanted a more balanced list to talk about, so the second ship, we'll go down in order. This isn't the way I built the list, but it's Cato Lichos, another pilot skill 5, so you get that versatility of manoeuvring which ship's going to go first, and then concussion missile, guidance chip, crack shot, gives him a decent alpha strike. If you can steal the focus token from somebody else, you can have a fully modified shot. What I'd recommend is, if you're flanking with Guri and she's not in any danger, you take a focus with her for Kato to steal, and then you can move on to Lats to reduce the agility of the target, and there's a little bit of list synergy in there. You get the fully modified shot and crack shot it, and you get Lats' ability to reduce. So a bit of a one shot and he's done, but add some hit points to a list, a little bit of alpha and some just more shenanigans you can play around with. Then the final component is a YV666 with Lats Razi. This is another really good fun pilot. Scum have access to, I love Lats' ability, just messing with your opponent, get those target locks. And we have gone pretty deep into the synergy with the ability in this build, with K4 security droid, weapons engineer, and then Zuckus. So the idea is that you're going to probably end up spreading your fire a little bit. You can give yourself more options in your approach. You don't have to focus on just one target. Guri can swing out and focus on someone that the weapons engineer's target locks on, whilst Watts is helping Kato's shot, stuff like that. So it's I'm obviously not looking that excited about it. I haven't used this exact list yet, but I have used one relatively similar. I had a Black Sun Soldier with feedback array, the advanced protons on Guri, and then Watts was a little bit more expensive with an engine upgrade instead of a weapons engineer. So that worked really well. I took that to a store championships in Red Deer, I think, got top 8, but I like this build for the synergies and the options it opens up, but it does make it harder to fly. You've got to work harder to get Kato's shot off, then make him an annoyance, so people have to target him. If they just focus down Lats, focus down Guri and leave Kato, then you're not going to be able to do much in the end game. Guri is actually surprisingly good in the end game. I've found even against a Fel or that kind of ship, the sensor jammer forces them to have to spend a token offensively to put guaranteed damage through onto you most of the time. You want to play the range game, use your 3 swoops to try and pull that extra range. Trade fire at range 3, your sensor jammer and auto thrusters should keep you safe most of the time. But again, there's a reason why the Star Viper isn't seen that much. She can do work. I guarantee you, if you practice with this list or some variation on it, you can make the cut at events. But it isn't as easy as the power paces, so I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say it's a world beater. I think it's a good solid list, has the synergies. If you can line up those shots, you're going to do damage to people. The other thing you should really look at is you don't have to just fly straight at people. You can mess around quite a lot. You can take Guri out of a fight for a long time, bring her in, let Lats, 12 hit points on the YV against certain styles of lists is considerable. So in a similar way to Armada, when you want to think about when you can soak damage onto your hull, you can afford to soak some damage onto Lats to get positioning with Guri. And it's that kind of bait and switch you've got to pull to make this list work. The YV disengages from engagements. Don't like that. The YV breaks off from engagements a lot better than the shuttle does. So it can really pull distance. Those about 4 forwards, the 3 forwards being green, it can actually get out of arc and pull range and have that survivability, make people have to chase it, at which point Guri can swoop in and clean up. And Kato and Lats will stand and trade toe to toe with quite a lot of lists at the moment. Guri is going to be the one to try and win your games against the Jump Masters. Your Alpha Strike's okay. With Lats, Zuckus and the Weapons Engineer K4, you should be able to get a fully modified shot on one guy and use Zuckus to force rerolls. Should be able to get a fully modified Kato's missile shot off with crack shot and probably Zuckus to guarantee you between 3 and 4 hits. So you've got a good chance of removing at least one Jump Master before it fires, and then hopefully break out, say, take the torpedoes onto Lats if you can, let them put damage there, and then Guri can come in and clean them up. Pole paces is a bit harder, it depends on the variation. Fell doesn't really worry me for his lack of offensive punch. Inquisitor's pretty scary. He's the one you've got to focus on with Laps and Kato early if you can. And then obviously Shoals never really a worry. Your YV666 is going to outperform that every day of the week. It's just a platform for Palpatine. And the other list to worry about, Wampa isn't quite as scary. Phantoms can be worrisome, especially, dropping into block Guri and then moving around her, stuff like that. A good Phantom player will probably beat this list. No. Yeah, I'll stick with that statement. A good Phantom player will clean this up, but you don't have to meet one in every tournament, so maybe. Swarms, personally, I feel that this can do well against a crack swarm, but I haven't play tested. I've only played against Vader and four blacks with this list, or the similar list, and did fine. I wasn't really worried in a bait and switch out lats, and it went well. But if you let them shoot all of the crack shots at Guri, the game's going to be over. You need Guri alive in that end game. Playing against the list, similar vein really. If you go after the YV, make sure you can kill it. Don't splatter damage onto it, because this list will outtrade you. Kato, if he's fired his missiles, spent his crack shot, don't really worry about him too much. Don't let him sit at range 1 of you and take shots. If you can get the easy 20 points, kill him. But the main thing is you cannot let Guri get positioning on you. It seems obvious with her being PS5 that you're going to have a repositioning, but a good Star Viper player can dance around you, especially when they're not running push, they're not stressing themselves. The dial's good enough that you can use your repositioning. Predator's going to give you that offense. She's difficult to nail down sometimes if your opponent is good at using her. So if you can, cover those arcs. Have a look at the Flight School Fridays from last week. The predicting the ship's position, check out the echolocation tool, see where this Guri can get to, and it should serve you well. That's about it, guys. I really enjoy flying Guri. As I said, if you want to go a bit deeper, throw advanced proton torpedoes onto her. 46 points of pure fun. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. And she just hits. It's 5 hits every time. You're not going to get less. And just try her out. Don't feel like you've got to be massively aggressive with her. She's definitely a finesse piece, but she's really good fun to fly. Please stick this list on the table, see what you think. Leave me some comments, let you know if you've got any changes, what you'd swap out for that 20 points for Kato. If you feel like you could do a decent Guri Bosk combo instead, or even Guri Dengar, that kind of stuff. See how you feel, and let me know if you've had any success with it. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure you subscribe and check us out on Facebook, Dice Hate Productions on Facebook. And yeah, you can send me some tweets. I'm going to try and do Ask Me Anythings and get some contests going soon. I've got some decent prizes in the works, so make sure you're leaving comments and we'll get a bit of a community going. And the first one, we can try and do some fun name for all the subscribers and make it a bit of a family. And I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for watching.